Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I have got another digital speed paint for you today, and this was inspired by something I saw going around on Twitter called THENVSNOW, and people were posting pictures of themselves from 2009 and then 2019, so this year, and it was really interesting seeing how people had changed or people had grown. And I thought it was a really cool idea, but I didn't want to post a picture of my tiny self online because, I don't know, I just feel very uncomfortable sharing a picture of my baby self. So I thought it'd be really fun and kind of an interesting twist to sort of illustrate it. So draw a self-portrait from 2009 I think it would be, and then a portrait for this year, although it ended up being less of a portrait and more of like a full body drawing. And I kind of wanted to show like the differences in my clothes and how my hair was and how I dressed, so I thought it would be kind of interesting to draw. So the first thing is that if you're looking at my hair from my 14-year-old self, yes, it was that long. I was able to sit on my hair because it was just so long. And I dressed real grungy, kind of like, I think I really wanted to be goth, so it was in between this sort of punky grunge. I would only ever wear black or dark grey t-shirts, skater pants, because I was very inspired by Avril Lavigne, I think is how you say her name. And the only colours were probably these neon coloured rubber bracelets that I had. I always used to wear bracelets, funny enough, when I was 14. I hate wearing bracelets now. I can't stand anything. I can't stand any rings, any bracelets, any necklaces, so I'm not sure how I was able to wear them when I was younger. Along with nail polish, I used to wear this neon pink and neon yellow, and now I can't actually stand wearing any nail polish on my hands. I don't know, it makes my hands feel like they're sealed in plastic. I think at 14 as well, I just started getting into anime and other animated shows on YouTube, because a lot of them were posted in 3 parts on YouTube. There were sometimes full episodes of cartoons, so I was able to start watching more cartoons and get inspired. And this is, I think, when I started wanting to be a sort of animator or just getting really interested in telling stories with my drawings and everything. So I had quite a lot of weird characters. In fact, I think I should try and dig out some of my old pictures, see if I've still got some on my computer in my sketchbooks, and maybe do some redraws. I keep saying I will do that, and I will. It's just getting round to it and just planning out which one I want to do first, because I know I had some really interesting characters. And I think it would be really fun to go back to having that kind of zany creativity that I did before. It's hard remembering some of the cartoons that I was watching at the time, because 14 to 16 kind of blurs together for me. I can't remember exactly what I was doing. All I know is that I was spending a lot of time at the computer, because I think that's when I first got it. I was probably 12 or 13 when I first got my computer, and then 14, 15, 16 is when I started getting into social media and posting my artwork on the computer to like DeviantArt. But I think I remember watching a lot of Invader Zim. I know I absolutely loved Invader Zim. I also loved all the Transformers Animated, Transformers Prime. I really enjoyed all of those robot shows. With anime, I think it was probably Tokyo Mew Mew or something like that. All the episodes again were uploaded on YouTube, and just a lot of the magical girl genre. I remember being completely obsessed with that kind of animation and couldn't believe about sort of like linear storytelling. I think that's what really appealed to me about anime, is that these cartoons weren't just episodic. They had this overarching storyline that I just absolutely fell in love with, and I really wanted to do that with my own work. So yeah, it's really fun thinking back about that. And then I think 2009 was possibly the year that I played my first ever video game, which sounds really funny. As a kid, I never really played video games or played on the computer too much because I didn't have one. I was mostly outside thinking about dinosaurs, drawing dinosaurs. I was very much obsessed with dinosaurs when I was a kid. But when I was older, when I was 14, that was when I played my first video game, and then I fell in love with video games. My very first one was Portal, and then the next was Portal 2. I absolutely loved that series. I was amazed with the story and the graphics, and that made me really want to make my own games, but that never really went anywhere. That was too difficult for me to get my head around. And then perhaps my greatest love of all time the next year would be Minecraft. I absolutely fell in love with Minecraft. It was all I would play, it was all I would talk about. It's funny, I made a lot of friends through that game. I don't know whether I joined Tumblr at this time, or maybe it was a bit later. It was probably a bit later, when I was about 15 or 16. I think I'd gone to college. I had like an Ask blog on Tumblr where we'd made these Minecraft characters, me and my friend Lethal or a Mage, and I just made a load of friends and I had such a fun time. They were good times. There was no worrying about adult life like there is now. We drew, we played video games, we laughed, we had fun, and honest, those days were so happy. Even when I was at college, I actually had a good time during my first year at college. It was the year after and the year after that I started to really hate college. But before I did go to college, I had started a YouTube channel, but it's not this YouTube channel that I'm using now. My very first YouTube channel was called Jin the Manga Maniac, and it is actually really funny looking back at those really old videos. There's a really bad quality video of me filming myself making a manga page where I'm sketching it out all in pencil. The quality is so bad, there's no music at all, but it's really funny looking back on it. There's also my first digital speed paint on there of this sort of goth character who was a sort of amphibian person, but the design is not that good, but it's really funny looking back on it. But it's really strange thinking back to when I was 14. It doesn't feel like 10 years ago. I still feel 14. I still sound 14. My voice hasn't changed that much, which is really funny. Because you can go back to one of my very first YouTube videos on this channel, and it is a Minecraft Let's Play, and my voice, there isn't that much difference, not at all. It's funny though, because I think in 2009, when I was 14, I knew what I wanted to do with myself. I wanted to be an illustrator of magazines or something. I can't remember exactly what I wanted, but I remember knowing what I wanted at 14, which I'm really surprised about, because now I have no idea what I want. As an adult, I am more confused than I ever was. But at 14, I had been invited to this sort of young illustrators club where your work got featured for campaigns. So I think I did a campaign for not drinking and driving. So my illustration that I did got featured in a magazine. I got invited to the magazine printing studio where they printed the magazine, and I got my own copy of it. I had my work featured on a town hall mural that we did for a youth centre, me and a few other kids, where we designed a drawing and it went up on the wall of this town hall. That got featured in the local newspaper. I also did designs for a shopping centre where we kind of did them on these graffiti boards. I had done some designs, and again they were featured at this shopping centre and you could actually see them. So I did do a lot when I was 14, and I also got featured on the radio as well, but I was so shy. I only think I said one word. Too shy to be on the radio. So 14-year-old me was doing quite well. It was like a young illustrators program, and eventually I think it did get shut down. Like the main organizer got fired or something, so it's kind of sad. But after that I went on to college, where I didn't do too badly. I did get good grades at the very end of college. And then after college I was quite lost really, because college does give you a lot of structure and everything, and after that I just didn't know what to do with myself. So after feeling quite lost for a long time, I finally saw people on YouTube making a living from doing YouTube videos, and especially people that were doing artwork and illustrations, and I thought, I can do that. So I actually took it very seriously when I first began. I would watch people, how they would create their videos, how they would edit them. I studied other artists, other YouTubers, how they would film, what they would use. I think I would update twice a week with videos, though the quality of them was not that good. I think because I was going for quantity rather than quality, I look back at these videos and I do kind of cringe a bit because they are not that well filmed. There's a lot of rambling and just stuff that I would edit out now. But I took it very, very seriously, and I was so determined to make it work. And it did. I'm not exactly making a living off YouTube, but I'm at a point where I do get paid. My efforts have been rewarded. They're finally paying off at the minute, so I'm really happy that I did stick with it, and I got better and I improved with my videos and my artwork and illustration, because I think doing 2 videos a week kind of ate up time that I wanted to spend improving my artwork, because I always want to be improving and be better with each piece that I make. So I think once a week is probably best, although I would like to start making more videos. I do enjoy editing and making vlogs and studio diaries of places where I've been. I just kind of like doing everything. I think that's the problem with me. When I feel lost, it's because there's so much I want to do. I want to make animations, I want to make games, I want to make music, I want to do everything. So I find it very difficult for me to put aside time to do it all, and I have to realise that I'm not going to be able to do it all. I always feel a bit weird talking about how I started YouTube, because it's not exactly a wholesome start. Other people have these really nice stories about how they were doing it for fun, and they just happened to post at the right time on the right day where people noticed their work. No, I did it from the very start to try and make money, to try and do what I wanted to do while still being able to make a living. So not exactly a wholesome start, but I was very determined and I stuck with it for as long as I have, and I intend to stick with it as long as I can. I think I enjoy it much more than I ever did before. I enjoy making my videos way more than I did when I first started, and now I do put a lot more care and effort into my videos now, because I allow myself to take a little bit longer with them to make sure they're nice and nicely edited with good voiceovers and good visuals. But back then I was so focused on just getting an audience and making it work. Though I'm really glad for my past self determination. It did do me good in the long run. So a little bit about the picture is this picture did actually take me a really long time. I don't know whether I was kind of afraid of it or just because it felt a bit overwhelming, because I wanted to really push again, because I know I hadn't drawn myself not long ago. I think at the beginning of this year I did that Meet the Artist, and I didn't want to create a picture that was too similar to that, so I really wanted to push the shading and the details on the clothes. And I am actually really happy with the line art with this. I did start with a traditional sketch. I kind of sketched out ideas in my sketchbook and I kind of scanned them and then kind of photoshopped them together to do a sketch base and then line art on top of that. And I am actually really happy with how this turned out. I feel like the hair looks good. I feel like the hands especially. I feel like I've been doing a lot of hand studies in my sketchbook and I feel like it's really paid off because I'm just so pleased with how it looks. And the trainers as well. I enjoy drawing shoes so much. All these little details that I think I do get carried away with sometimes, and I'm not sure if I still have this habit of overworking a picture, but I feel like I was able to tone it down in this picture, although this did still take me about 12 hours to complete. It has been a nightmare trying to edit down 12 hours of footage into about 20 minutes, and I still feel like this video is going to be too long and people are going to get bored of it. But yeah, I'm pleased with the shading. I tried to do a different kind of shading, though it still kind of falls into my usual way of doing things, but I feel it still works out. I always feel after I finished a picture that I could have pushed myself further, but as long as I keep trying new things with each piece, I think that's a good way of improving. But when I got to the end of this picture, I did feel like the background was kind of too empty. I feel like it needed something, so I did add Charlie in there. Charlie is my sort of cat that I own, but not really. He found us, we didn't find him. So I added him in the background, and I'm actually really pleased because I don't draw animals. I find animals really difficult to draw, so I was really pleased with how he came out because I managed to get his expression looking upwards as well, so I'm really pleased with that. And I think it did add a really nice element to this picture of just having like another character in the piece that wasn't just another human. I still feel really nervous about posting this because I feel like it's quite egotistical to keep drawing myself, but I actually have a lot of fun drawing myself. I don't know why, I think it's just fun drawing my clothes and seeing how I'd look in my own style. So hopefully it doesn't come across as egotistical. So we're coming to the end of this video, kind of close to coming to the end. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I kind of want to try something new. If this video gets 5 cobblestones worth of likes, so 320 likes, I will remake my very first video, which is a Minecraft Let's Play. If this video gets 320 likes, I will start a Minecraft Let's Play. Because I've been feeling really nostalgic, and I think it's kind of fun to look back at where I started and what I would do now if I remade that video. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun drawing this. It was just a really fun process, and I hope to see you in another video really soon. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.